Hi there, this is Lindsay from Lindsay King Modern Photography and Bella Chic Creative Photoshop Actions. So I'm going to talk to you a little bit today about watermarks. Some people don't use watermarks at all, and that is totally personal preference. If you feel great and protected not using watermarks online, then more power to you. For me, I like to use watermarks for several reasons. One, when I watermark my image, my client knows that they should not be downloading that image, and if they do download it and if they do try to send it off to the print lab should know and typically will follow the rule that you don't print something that has a watermark on it because that's a protected image. So that's number one. Number two, I do photograph a lot of children, and the last thing that I want to do is see one of the children that I have photographed on someone else's website. And that is totally from a mom standpoint and from the standpoint that I always want my clients to feel as protected as possible. I want them to know that their children are in the best possible hands. So I do my best to make sure that I watermark, especially kids' images, in a way that someone else would not easily be able to take that image and download it and then re-upload it and put it on their own website. Now, sometimes I like to put my watermarks over in the corner, and sometimes I put them on the clothing. It just depends. Some people I have seen go as far as putting them in the hair or across the face at a low opacity. Whatever floats your boat, whatever makes you happy is fine with me. What we're going to talk about is a couple of different ways to do watermarks. So, without further ado, excuse me, the first thing that we're going to do is we're going to create a watermark brush. So we're going to go to File, New. I have 6 on my width, 4 on my height, 400 on my resolution, and it's a transparent background. I'm going to hit OK. The next thing that we're going to do here is we're going to make a text area, and we're going to type Bella Chic. But you don't type Bella Chic. You type whatever your business name is. So I'm just going to do Bella Chic. Actually, I'll do Bella Chic Creative, Creative. Now that is just a little too big. There we go. Perfect. So the reason that I typed it in black, because sometimes I watermark in white, sometimes I watermark with a color that's within the image, but the reason that you want to create the brush itself in black is because the color that you create it in has nothing to do with what color you stamp it on later with. You want to create it in black because black is the darkest with the most contrast, so it's going to give it the hardest or the best opacity for later on. It's going to give it a nice solid opacity. If you were to do, let's just, you know what, I will show you. If you were to do the same thing, sometimes it's easier for me to show than explain. If we did Bella Chic Creative, Creative. All right, it's hard for me to spell and talk at the same time. Okay, so let's just say we did this in purple, because we know that every single time we watermark, we're going to do it in purple. Well, let's watch what happens. Let's go ahead, and what we would do is we're going to go to Edit, Define Brush Preset, and we're going to say this is Bella 4. Now, we're going to close that out. We don't need to save it. And we're going to go to the same thing again, Edit, Define Brush Preset, and we're going to do this as Bella 5. Oh, shoot, I did that as Bella 4. Okay, let's see what happens. So let's go ahead and close that out. Now, I'm going to make, all right. So I'm going to go over to my brushes. Sorry, I'm talking to myself a little bit here too. So we go to our brushes here, and if you can see, you can already kind of tell that the opacity is a little bit different between the two brushes right here. This is the very first brush that we did, and this brush was the purple. Okay, so even though I just put that on black at 100% opacity, you can see that you can still see some of her hair strands through that. Let me do it. Let me show you another way. I'm going to go right over her eyes so you can really get a better idea. Just like that, and you can still kind of see through that. Now, let's switch it up to the one that we saved in black, and look how much darker it is. Huge difference, huge difference. So you always want to save in black. Now, I can just go to my color picker here, and I can get a new color from here and stamp it on in a different color. It matters for opacity later on, which is why you want to save it in black to start with. Now, that's all good and great. So yay, now we have a brush. But let's just say that after you finish editing your image, you don't want to have to sit and go through all of your brushes to get to your tool there, your watermarking tool brush. So I'm going to show you another trick. We're going to make a watermark action. Yeah, that's right. So you're going to hit action, little action button there. I'm going to call this watermark 1. And all I'm going to do, and what this is going to do is it's going to save me time. So all I'm going to do is go to my brush preset manager. I'm going to click on the brush that I will watermark with, and don't stamp it on, just change the brush head. That's it, and then hit stop. So now let me show you. Okay, so let's just pretend that I just finished editing this image, blah, 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 I edited, and now I'm ready to stamp it. Instead of me having to go up here, go through all that stuff, find my watermark, all I'm gonna do is just go, bam, done. And that's it, very, very simple. Now, let's just say that you have a, let me open something up here. Let's just say that you have a watermark that is a little bit more sophisticated, like this one. Okay, so the thing about this watermark here is that it has 2 colors in it. Right off the bat, we've got 2 colors. So because it has 2 colors, we can't necessarily make it into a brush because the brush isn't going to work with 2 colors. It's only going to give you 1 color for the most part. So let me, you know what, let me open up a different one, give you a better idea. We'll open up this one here. Okay, so this is made for the purpose of this tutorial. So I've got this, and I can do 2 things. I can either, we saved it as a PNG, so I can just open it and I can drag it on. Very simple, very easy, no problem. But if I really wanted to make my life easier, I could make another action. So this is a placing action. So we're going to call this place watermark 2. All right, so all I'm going to do is I'm going to go to File, Place. I'm going to grab that watermark, so I'll go ahead and grab that one, and immediately it pops it right on the image. I'm just going to drag it down to where I want it and accept it. And that's it. Very simple. Now let's try that again and let's see what happens. Let's make sure that that action runs for us. So place, whoops, place watermark, and what it did was it pulled it right down into the corner. Now if you don't want it in the corner, if you want to be able to decide every single time where it's going to go, then you could do something as simple as this. Place watermark 3. Okay, we could go File, Place, Bella, and we could leave it there and we could accept it. Just like that. And then stop the action from there. So very, very, very simple. And that's it. So that's a couple different ways to create and use quickly your new watermarks. Thank you so much for watching. As always, please check us out at www.bellasheetcreative.com. And if you have any questions, feel free to contact me anytime at bellasheetcreative@outlook.com. Have a great day.